thank you, dear comrades, from NLC and all the unions that are here today. It's really a pleasure. I think the first time we're having this type of solidarity in the country, and we should keep it going to rescue our nation from the hand of a very few people who are controlling our destiny. We must rescue Nigeria and bring it back to how it was in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And that's why we are here. And we must continue in this struggle. Let them know that they don't have dominance over us. On that note, I will just talk about two major issues. The first is their agreement. You see, in the 60s, I was saying yes, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, when you enter a typical Nigerian universities, you see lecturers from multiple countries. That is the idea of university. University is universal. It's not about a locality. You lecturers from all over the world, any country can teaching in Nigerian universities. When you go around, you see students from all over the world studying in Nigerian universities. You are a child of a driver. You sit on the same table with the child of a governor, a child of a minister, child of a president. You eat from the same cafeteria with them. You live in the same hostel, share the same bed. But today, what do you have? The class has divided. So that is the major reason we started this struggle in the 80s. In the 90s, it continued up to now. And this obstinacy by the government continued. I think that's why we are where we are today. So one of the reasons, today when you go around our universities, it has even gone below national to tribal. If you enter a typical university in Abia State, for example, 80% lecturers from Abia. Yes. You enter a university in Sokoto, 80% lecturers from Sokoto. Is that what a university should be? No. And that is why we need this struggle. So that you enter a university, you don't ask who you are. Yeah. You know people, you see lecturers from all over the world teaching in the university. So for this struggle, in 2009, we had an agreement with government on the issues that would have resolved it. And that agreement resulted that we told the government that you need not less than 1.3 trillion naira to refurbish all federal universities. But government said no. What you are saying is not correct. Let me send a team around the universities, and they did. You need a assessment team. They went around all the universities, and I can tell you what they reported, and I think we have it all over the place, is damning. In one of the first generation university, they used stove as Bunsen burner in the chemistry lab. We enter a university where lecturers are students are having lecture in open stadium like this, having lectures. We enter a university where we went to the hostel, we to a special hostel, a female hostel. There was 16 students in one room, 16. And each of them had a stove, which means the health implication. And by the time we came back, that team was led by the present chairman of INEC. And they gave a report to the Federal Executive Council, and it was damning. And they agreed they would put the 1.3 trillion naira into Nigerian universities. In 2013, we went on strike again to force them to do it. And they agreed that they will spread this payment over 6 years. And they signed by giving 220 billion naira every year to Nigerian universities. If they had been done, today we would have gone far beyond where we are today. But what happened? They did nothing. So that's one of the issues why we're on strike, the revitalization fund. Then we have the issue of earned academic allowance. You can check the record. When you go out to other part of the world where things are working, it's a university. The ratio of academic staff to students is 1:4. For every one academic staff, you have 4 students, 5 students, 6 students. By our NLC regulation, you should have 1 academic staff to 9 students in the medical sciences and 15 students in the humanities. So you should not have more than 1 academic staff to 15 students. But when you go to our university, it's 1 to 100, 1 to 50, which means you are doing extra work. And we do agree that for those who are doing extra work, they should be paid an allowance. And that was the origin of the an allowance, which they also refused to pay, among other things. So when we negotiated with 2000, we didn't start negotiation in 2017, when Babala King was appointed as the government chairman. And we were moving well until he came in with this theory that every student, commercializing universities, that every student must pay a fee of 1 million naira every year. every student, whether you are from the poor, will pay school fees of 1 million naira every year. I will ask them, how would a student whose parents earn 30,000 a month pay school fees of 1 million? Say, don't worry, we will create a bank for them where we we'll go and collect loan of 1 million. So that by the time you are graduating, you are owing 6 million. And we said, we used to do our investigation. I found out that they will open a bank that they already done that before. And the bank is will take 1 year to collapse. They swindled the money and the bank collapsed. Education bank, it was established here and it collapsed. And we also look at some country where they had this policy of going to take money from bank. Some of the students committed suicide because you are graduating, you own 30, it take you 10 years to get a job and you are owing 20 million. What are you going to live such life? So we disagree. That illegal until you know what happened to Baraki in Unilag, and he was thrown away, and they brought Bosali Jubri to negotiate on behalf of government. And the first question we asked them, do you have the permission? Are you representing the government? Do you have the mandate to negotiate? And they say yes. And we finished that negotiation in May 2021. And they say, give us time. Let us go back to our principal, which is the government, to give them permission to sign. I will say, fine. We also went back to our people. It took 1 year before they came back to us. We started this strike before they came back that they did not agree. And then they set up another one. This one headed by Nemi Briggs. And when they came to us, we told them we have finished the negotiation. If you look at what we negotiated, if there's any issue, raise it so that we can discuss it. Don't say we will start all over because we have finished. We are meeting with government. And they went first and got all, they said they have met with all the ministries, salary and wages, labor, finance, and based on that, they now have the mandate. We said, fine. So we met and they came with what they said is their minimum. And by the time we looked to it, we accepted. After a little modification, then we accepted. And that was on June 16, 2022. It's more than 1 month now, they've not come back. Then on the issue of UTAS, it started in 2014 when Comrade Nasir Ifade was the president of ASSU. It started then. At that time, when they came with peace, we told them it cannot work in a university. For so many reasons. One is that university is unique. There's a law, University Miscellaneous Act, that states that any secular from the ministry, if you come to the university, it's not applicable. It's there and it's all over the world. I will challenge them. Mention one university in the whole world where lecturer salaries are paid from Accountant General Office. There's none. I will say obey the law of the country that says you cannot. Our employer is the governing council. Therefore, those who will pay our salary should be governing council. And the law specifies very well that the council manages the finances of the university. But to control the council, the government every 5 years will set a visitation panel to the university to look at infringement. If there is, you punish them. But we had to go on strike after 11 years before the government set up that panel. The panel was set up in February last year, till now the report is not out. So that is the problem we have with that. So in 2014, when they brought it, we said, look, university also have peculiarities that cannot be captured by IPs. So when we finish negotiating, those people then, they agree with us that what we are saying is correct. And that we should set up a committee made up of all the unions and government to develop a platform we can use for universities. The data are there. And we send our own team, some very high level academic staff, to the committee. Government never called us back again. 2014 until 2017, they called us again and said you must use IPs. And we said no, nothing has changed. You have not changed the law. There's nothing that has changed in IPs. And they demonstrated some beautiful spreadsheet to us that you can pay, you pay allowances, you pay everything. As a union, we say what you are presenting is has no meaning. It will not work. We will not join. So at the end of the day, we insisted that we are not joining, and we did not join, and we were punished. We were in 2020. Our salary was held for 9 months for not joining IPs. This country, I also coincided with the period of COVID-19. So during COVID-19, they held our salary for 9 months and we're still managing our family, because once you introduce that IPs to the system, if ASSU didn't protest, and today all this fraud going on would have just be normal. What is IPs? You need to know that IPs was conceived by World Bank and given to the government, for which government is paying heavily. And you know why they are struggling to put many people? They had the option of signing a comprehensive system for a country you pay fixed amount in a year. You also have the option of payment per person. Instead of paying as a country, you pay per person. The option of payment per person. So that the more people you put in, the more money you pay. And that's what problem you're having today. The more you put in, the more you pay. And those who enjoy it are in this country. And we have been vindicated by what happened to the accountant general of the country, who have been found out that only one man, from one allegation, thank God he's in court and he's in prison. In Kuje prison. You know Kuje? That he stole 170 billion naira. One person. One. In a country like Nigeria, where people earn 30,000 a month, where pensioners earn 3,000 a month and they are not paid. So that is it. So we said we are not joining. So in 2020, part of the agreement we had to call off that strike in 2020 was that government will accept UTAS if we can develop it within a period and test it. We said fine. It took us 3 months to develop it with our own resources. 3 months. Homegrown. Cover everything. And we also said that whatever we are developing should not also reside in the ministry. It should reside in the agency that is what do you call it? That is NUC. And we all agree that NUC will be the one that will give permission to VC. And once permission given to VC, because the VC that will maintain your salary preparation and everything and then payment. And that was what we agreed on. It took us 3 months and I had to prepare that to get that task ready. And they said we should send it for a test. We said fine. But we asked them one question. And this came in 2006. He came to this country. Has he ever been tested? They said no. So if you didn't test the one that came from outside, why do you want to test the one produced by your intellectuals? They didn't have answer. That time when he came in, there was no provision for testing. So if there was no provision, you are not doing tests. Why not you test it? They refused. So they tested that particular solution, and by their own, we went up with them. It's called 77%. They say it must be subjected. When we have put that, they say it must be subjected to end user test. We said fine. They brought the VCs. It was presented to them. They accepted. They brought our colleagues in bursary and registry to a meeting, and they were asked to score. And they scored the program 94%, and that it should be deployed immediately. We have the report. But government still went to air that it failed. And we met again, said let's go for a third time. This one is to share all the 3 solutions, which we agreed. Because our interest for this country is more than individual. And they have suggested it to test more than 2 weeks ago. We have not seen the result. We still have not seen the result. But when they now came to test IPs, they brought another solution. We will see when we meet with government when they come. They didn't bring IPs this time. They brought another thing. You have been using IPs 2006. Let's test it now. You brought another thing. They say it's homegrown. So that is the deceit in the system. So that is the reason we have. We are insisting that UTAS must be implemented. Yes. We also had meeting with our colleagues here, and we agree that instead of fighting ourselves and looking for the government, we need to unite and see how we can say it is what we develop and IPs. Yes. Not you UPS, not let us develop together and then meeting together, look at the two, see how we can harmonize and say having this one is the one of the university against the one of the IPs. I think that's what we are working on that. So what am I saying different? That as of today, the universities are shut down, not because of ASSU. And when we started this strike, in other climb, what the government will do when you start a strike, you apprehend it immediately. But we started the strike. We were supposed to start the strike in November 2021. But NIREC, Nigerian Interregional Council, stepped in and said they want to intervene. We said fine, we'll give you 3 months. So they started. And at the end of 3 months, nothing happened. We started the strike. First 4-week rollover strike, nothing happened. The second one, your man that you saw the picture somewhere, the priest. The first thing he did was to go and stop salary. Instead of resolving problems, you take it that when you stop salary with 2 or 3 months, we will come begging. But with the resilience of my member, if they like, let them keep this strike for 2 years. We must change Nigerian university system, even no matter what happens. This system must change. Nigeria must change, and Nigeria will change from the outcome of university. When you go around the countries, the world, Nigerians are doing so well intellectually, but you come home, the environment is such a way that there is no way you can perform. The laboratories are rotting, no training, nothing. So that is the problem we are having, and we must change this system. So on that note, I want to thank NLC again. I want to thank other labor unions.